So our presenter today is Tanya, and she's going to be speaking about Independence Day.
Yay. Well, hello, everybody. I am delighted to do this. For whatever reasons, I have been invited to be a speaker for the first Sunday of each month, unless something comes up and I can easily move or skip a month. But the minister in me is like, yes, yes. So needless to say, what somebody you were saying, you're already writing, you're talking, it's way too long anyway, right? Me too. It was like pouring out information, tapping into spirit. I just love it. So this is the Independence Day talk. I've been watching Outlander. Has anybody watched that TV show? I find it fascinating. It's set in the mid 1700s. And right now, I'm into the part where we're about to have our separation from Britain, right? Which is, of course, what our July celebration of July 4th is all about. So it's interesting to have them right up next to each other. And as a consequence, what I decided to do was to read the Declaration of Independence. And that begins on July 4th, 1776, and I am going to read you the first page because I have a feeling this is going to mean a lot to those of you who had to make the hard and difficult decision to separate out from the former organization that we were with. This explains exactly why we did it, and I thought it might be of great interest, and it won't take very long. It's obviously a little tiny. So it says here, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station with which laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to that separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that he's going to say man in here, so forgive him, okay? That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. And to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than they are to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Sound familiar? But when a long train of abuses and absurtions pursued invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. I had no idea that this was so pertinent to our times. So welcome to celebrating the 4th of July, right? When we got independence from a system of government that did not work. And so we alter our former system of governance with the founding of Simply Spiritual. Mwah, hooray, hooray. Just come in and take a seat. And I would say that we altered this form of governance for the same reasons. I found that really quite interesting. As New Thought thinkers, with our origins with Emerson, Thoreau, Mary Baker Eddy, and other free thinkers, we encourage here in this group independent, original thought that comes from the inner soul, the inner knowing. That's what New Thought is all about, what we're doing here. Every philosophy and religion has core principles shared by the others out there. And what's really interesting is that at the World Parliament of Religious Conferences, that all the religions come together at one time, the New Thought attendees, that's us, we're New Thought. The New Thought attendees are warmly welcomed into each religious enclave, every one, because we find the connecting truth principles in every philosophy and we claim them as our own. We'll look under rocks for the truth and we'll find them. We'll find them in the earthworms because the truth is everywhere present. This is our core uniting purpose, no matter what we call ourselves. Simply spiritual, this is my definition of what I think we are. Simply spiritual is a gathering of fellow souls who choose to explore spirituality with all of its variations and complexities, without proselytizing or demanding allegiance to any one spiritual system or organization. We are explorers. So today, what I would like to do is to explore the concept of independence, contrast it with dependence. Dr. Holmes explored these ideas in this way. I thought then the concordance in the science of mind is really quite interesting. And he explored it this way when he was talking about what we're going to be talking about today. He said that all people are individualizations of God or the universe, each one a little different, and are in reality all using the same mind. There's only one mind. All emanates from this one mind. And since there is no individual anything in the universe, because if there were, all things would be isolated. And all things are not isolated. This is an interconnected universe. All things are individualizations of the one essence. Emerson understood the unity of all life as an indivisible unity and permits no fragments. We are that interconnected to the whole, to everything. You cannot separate yourself out from the air and from the water and from the earth and from the plants and the animals. We cannot. You're comprised of that. We all are, just in our bodies alone. I'm not even talking about spirit yet. He says that we are not individual, but individualized. Feel the difference. You're not separate. We are individualized. Individual would imply separation and disunion. Individualized means many points of consciousness in one mind. Spirit differentiates the universality without destroying its unity. Isn't that awesome? We are differentiated and yet completely united. Somebody's awfully clever out there, however this gig got started. I really do appreciate that, frankly. Much as I like all of you guys, I don't want to be any of you. I want to be me. You know, Brigitte, are you with me? Yeah, I want to be me all the way. Still working on that. Still working on that. So he says again, just in case you get too ego involved, there is no such thing as an individual anything in this universe. For instance, we as individuals do not have an individual gravitational force that holds us in place. Thank you, God. Right? That we do not possess an individual law of mathematics or a principle of harmony. We all are under the same laws. How chaotic would it be if that wasn't so? How could we understand anyone else's reality if it wasn't already ours? Rather, we are immersed in all of these things and they individualize through us in accord with the use that we make of them. Thanking my mentor, he says a couple more things that are well worthy of our time to listen to. He says, he's trying to answer the question, who are we? Does that interest anybody here? You know, I thought it did. That's why I came up with, quoting some of this stuff. He says, we are thinking centers in a cosmic mind. Our lives reproduce the original life. Everything that happens to us must start with the movement of intelligence within us, which is a movement of our word or contemplation or meditation within ourselves. Every person represents an individualization of the universal wholeness. Feel that. You don't have to hold yourself in space and time. What a relief. You are an individualization of the universal wholeness. There's no separation between you and me. We're all part of this whole, individualized. He says the love, peace, joy, and freedom of the Spirit. Therefore, we have a divine right to be masters of our own fate. We have a divine right to rise above fear, impoverishment, and disease. And I really would rather not live in a world that doesn't have that. I like it that we are individualizations of the same exact thing, so that's what makes us quote-unquote brothers and sisters, all made out of the same stuff, and yet I don't have to look like Sylvia, which is not a bad thing. I wouldn't mind looking like Sylvia, but I don't have to. I'm going to look like me. I'm just going to look like me, and you're going to look like you. And that's good, and very good. So, I was reading a poem by myself by Rupert Schubert. Let me see if I can find it. It should be right here. Underneath me? No, I think I made I think I made a copy of that, and I don't have it right at this moment. So you guys are spared another poem because we'll run out of time anyway, right? So today I want to explore this concept, and I've read you what Dr. Holmes has to say about it, and I'd like you to see and question, are you starting to see that there's no such thing as independence when defined as separation from source? There's no separation from source. We are all extensions of the one mind, one heart. We are completely dependent on this life force as our life force. I am so grateful I do not have to make the life force work inside me, because I haven't a clue how to do it. I really don't. You cannot decide who you are. Isn't that cool? You don't decide who you are. You were made who you are. You get to discover who you are. But you can't decide. It's already been decided. I'm really happy about that one too. Right? So, we are God's stuff and expression. That's the end of the story. But we've been given the free will to believe that we are independent individuals who create our own realities. Quite a trip. It's very kind of Alice in Wonderland, and she's talking to the caterpillar that tells her, I can believe 3 impossible things each morning just before breakfast. Right? We are perfectly capable of believing things that do not exist and are not real and are not realities, such as you're ugly, you're unloved, and you're a worthless piece of blank, 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 blank. People do that. They go there. They cannot, however, make it true. So we're free to believe that we are worthless, miserable sinners, or to believe we're divine expressions of God itself, or believe in both at the same time or alternately, right? That's just how the gig is down here. So to conclude, why do we care what that reality really is? It's because what you think about creates your reality. If you will believe that you were born in sin as a miserable sinner condemned to misery, your life will be much different from someone who believes that they are born as an individualized expression of the love, the wisdom, the beauty of the universal power of life itself. I wanted to talk about this because today is the day we celebrate our freedom to choose, right? How we live and what we believe about who we are. I encourage you to believe that you are the love of the universe in expression. You are created to express your unique, beautiful self in joyful, powerful ways. It's up to us to decide how we want to identify ourselves, miserable sinners or God in expression. I know which one I'm choosing. The fact that I'm probably not doing it 24/7 is a whole other issue. So I'm going to just end us with a short meditation and then we'll move into our discussion time. That meditation I did print out for everyone only because I thought you may want to do it again. Who knows? That's my gift to you. So if you would like, close your eyes, settle within, and open to the core of your being. Take a deep breath. Deep breath in and open your heart. Know that there is only one here. One heart, one being, many expressions. Know that this one being expresses itself as love. How do you love? You express as life. How alive are you? You express as peace. How are you peaceful? You express as power. How are you powerful? You express as beauty. How are you beautiful? U expresses joy. How are you joyful? And deep breath in. Recognize that you are free to express all parts of yourself as you choose. I highly recommend you choose your free and authentic self. And so it is.
We're going this way. Oh, Michael. Just got to spend a week at Brighton Bush Hot Springs. I haven't been there since the 80s. It was wonderful. My Sufi group I've been hanging out with for friends that I've been hanging out with for 50 years. Okay. I'm big and I like to stay small.